Let's take this flax. Raw flax. I wonder what I can do with that one. Huh. So I'm getting closer to this monstrosity here. Seems to be a chateau. Or chateau. I don't know how you say that one. Can I go in here? Oh, it's housing. You can buy this massive thing. Let's preview it. Why not? A magnificent castle keep, complete with walls, watchtowers, well, fountain and stable, all dramatically sited on the slopes of an active volcano. Wow. So you can buy this. Purchase options. It's 3.7 million. Or if you want it furnished, then it's premium. But unfurnished requires Hero of the Ebonheart Pact achievement and the Friend in Need house quest completion. That's interesting. 3.7 million if you want this massive house. And you can probably go inside too. Right? Yep, you can. Well, that looks interesting. It's really expensive, but I hope you can gather a little bit more of gold. Yeah, it is a one-time payment, isn't it? I would probably go for this one. It seems like it would have a ton of customization possibilities. And you come here via this bridge, I think. Yeah, this is really cool. But it's for the rich only. Because it is so massive. Makes sense, right? Oak! New type of wood. I've not seen that one before. Let's take some pure water. Then let's take this water hyacinth. And then swim. Because I think I have to do this. Ebonheart discovered. I got to Ebonheart. Ebonheart has an inn. Mage's Guild is here. So it is another city. That's good to know. That means I can come back here.
Hold there, Sarah.
Hello. I guess I would have had to go through the city and get a ton of quests. But there are two here, so that's fine.
Arrived. I've got a message for you.
A message from who?
It's a message from Drathus Othral, the leader of the Dark Elf quarter in Ebonheart. He sends his compliments, and he wants you to help the town resist a nearby Covenant invasion.
Does he need me to fight?
No, he just needs you to talk. House Drez isn't popular. The Nords and Argonians in Ebonheart won't speak to him. And the other Dark Elf houses don't like the Drez much either. Convince the townspeople to work together. Then speak to Othral.
I'll see what I can do. Unite the citizens of Ebonheart. Already problems here. Oh wow, there are a lot of quests over there. There is another quest I haven't picked up right over there. Or maybe not. Yeah, it isn't a new quest. But this one down here is. Not that one. Ow. Where is that quest? It's inside here. Hi.
I have no quarrel with you. We shall speak. But know that if you would help those trying to murder our Hist, I will speak with my teeth instead of my tongue.
What's wrong with your history?
It's dying. It was never healthy. This isn't Black Marsh after all. So in the last few weeks, it's withered. We've learned that House Drez is poisoning it. It's not enough to have enslaved us for generations. Now they want to carve our hearts out.
What can be done to save your Hist?
The best we can do is fertilize it. We're using mud crab meat wrapped in ash reed. Both are common around the quarter. We've also set guards around the tree to keep the Dunmer away.
I'll collect some fertilizer for
If
you.
you wish to aid us, gather the items I requested. Ash reeds grow in the tide pools in our quarter, and mud crabs thrive on the shores nearby. Gather some of each and present them at the roots of our Hist.
Who told you the dark elves are poisoning the Hist?
Some of our people heard a dark elf talking to others of his kind. He asked if they'd seen the Drez rowing out to our Hist tree. He saw jars of poison in the boat. That's not hard to believe.
Why would the dark elves do this?
The Drez have always regarded Argonians as little more than savage children. We needed to be civilized, so they uplifted us by putting us to work as slaves on plantations and in mines. No more. Now we speak beside them in the council.
Who was the dark elf who claimed the Drez poisoned the Hist?
Ravel Urano. My people overheard him at the inn. He was drunk and talking too loud. No one spoke to him directly. It's never been wise for an Argonian to confront a dark elf. Especially lately. We're far from Black Marsh.
It sounds like none of the Argonians actually saw the Drez, the boat, or the poison.
No, but it's not difficult to believe, is it? The Drez think we're little more than animals. But the Pact freed us. What they can't enslave, they destroy.
Well, we'll see about that. Convince the Argonian, so I have to convince her. I'll do that a little later. Collect ash reed. Collect mud crab meat. Another quest. Is it? No. Clump of reeds. Ash reeds. This small bundle of stiff, inflexible reeds could be woven together to protect one's head, or a Hist sapling from the elements. Cool. Let's take more of this stuff. Mudcrabs are tough in this world. That's for sure.
Have we been led into error?
Hi.
The three keep you, traveler. Are you willing to risk heresy to save the soul of Ebonheart?
Heresy? What are you talking about?
The disciple of our tribunal temple has lost his faith. He says the three no longer speak to him. He sent me to pray for him at shrines to Olmalexia, Vivek, and Sothasil, just outside town. But I was driven away by a foul smell and angry Aelith.
What kind of smell? Why were the beasts so angry?
I don't know. The smell may have driven the beasts into a frenzy. Perhaps, if you'd be willing, would you burn these flowers at each shrine? If the three respond, tell disciple Sildris. Perhaps that will restore his faith.
I'll see what I can do.
I'll pray for an answer to your voice at the shrines. Praying for prayers. Perhaps Vivek will appreciate how circular that is.
You said heresy. Have you upset the tree?
I don't know why Sildris thinks the three would abandon us. We have observed all the proper rites. These flowers, for one. Roland's tears. The rarest of the gold carnet and sacred to the three. It is a powerful offering.
Interesting. Roland's tears. This is an extremely rare variety of the common gold. A carnet flowers of Morrowind. Roland's tears are sacred to Dalm Sevi. Huh. Another mud crab. I'm here. You do know you're on fire, right? That's two. And I saw something over there. Oh, it's Nirn. Nirnroot. Pile of offal. Burn the pile of offal. What? Okay. Shrine of Sotazel. I want that thing behind you. There we go. Now, what's over there? Talk to servant of... Okay. But this is the island tower, I need to do this too. Joffrey Iceblade.
Comrade. Comrade!
Who are you?
I am Jofnir Iceblade, former master of the Fighters Guild. Don't interrupt, I cannot speak long. Dosha has taken Merrick beneath the island into the vault. She trains his soul for her master's dark plans.
Why are you here?
I can't say. My time grows short. Save Merrick, stop the Daedra. We're the followers of
Okay. Let's check around here. Lots of stuff to gather here, that's for sure. Another Nirnroot. Come here. Awesome. I love that one. Hello. To my ass's aches. My son Bethel, I cannot meet you this evening. Father is beginning to suspect and he would never forgive me if he found out. I will try to come again next Midas. Until then, my love, your Lalisi Tress. Aww. Oops. So that was it. That was that area. I hope we will find more about them. Stone Fang Cavern. For the greater Daedra, scamps are useful minions. Their nimble hands can carry and manipulate objects, and they are just intelligent. Something.
A pure soul, Dosha. Don't fail.
I can just come here and sit down. Because why not? Hello. A scamp with lightning or arcane energy. That's new. Oh, this place is big. Fairly big. Let's take stuff. Is there something here? Oh, I thought that would be pickable. Oh well. I get over there from here. But I want to look through everything. I will be over there soon, scamps. All of the scamps destroyed. Fun. There you are.
You're too late, mortal! His soul will be the mortal vividness! I will consume you as well!
I think I'm interrupting that. I hope at least. Whoa. I can do this. Yes.
You have failed me, Dosha.
Standar, my head.
I will be with you for in a moment. I want to read what's up here. The Legendary Sacred Ore, First Edition. I have read this one already, haven't I? Surrounding regions with all communications with an offer. Yeah, I have. I just haven't seen it again when I got the add-on. Oh hey, notes on the Mortuum Vivicus. Since the Dark Master's plot was revealed to me, I have attempted to learn more of this weapon he holds so dear. According to historical records, the Mortuum Vivicus was a gift from our Lord and Master to the unworthy king of a long-forgotten city. Those unworthy servants stood on the verge of greatness. To their great loss and eternal shame, the fools were unable to accomplish the simple tasks our Master set before them, and he withdrew the Vivicus from the Umbriel. It was lost to the faithful. If the Master's plan comes to fruition, If enough souls can be gathered to his side, the servants of the Lord of Lies would be more powerful than any mere king or queen. Truly Tamriel would burn in the master's fire. Whoa. Hi.
She almost had me. Thank you, comrade.
Are you alright? I wanted to ask the same thing.
Just need a moment to recover. If you hadn't come along, I'll be fine, Stendar willing.
What was she yelling about wanting your
I
soul?
heard her communing with the Lord of Lies. Molag Bal is harvesting souls for some dark plot. He's especially interested in the souls of the faithful.
What now?
Comrade, grab that book and her notes on the table. I saw her scribbling after speaking to her master. We may be able to learn more about this plot. Learn what this Mortum Vivicus is. Grab them, then let's get out of here.
Alright. Toshia's journal. Mersonelle jump porter con play toy ronnero ester. Sale gene son fersa flo lush era me. Okay. Interesting. Report to seize all colors. Really? Oh. Guess I do have to visit Ebonheart then. Because I'm already full. That's awesome. Oh, seize all colors is right there with me. Or right here even. I'm coming. Running low on inventory space, purchase pack and bank upgrades for in-game vendors. Hi.
You are the sun on my scales, comrade. You've returned Merrick to us.
He was captured by a necromancer, a follower of Molag Bal.
Molag Bal. May he burn in the glare of 1,000 suns. It's just like him to send an assassin to kill a noble warrior. That's a coward's weapon.
She wanted him for something called the Mortum Vivicus. We found his journal and some notes.
Zuth, the Mortum... what? And I can't make tails or scales of these scribblings. No matter. It's going to take time to decipher this scroll, but we'll put our best scribe on it.
Is there anything else I can do?
You've done a great service for the guild today, comrade. I look forward to drawing steel with you in the future. If we learn anything from the journal, I'll make sure you hear about it.
That's 2 items, I can't... Oh no. Destroy...
You've done the
Destroy...
I'll look for you down the river, comrade. You'll hear from us once we've decoded the journal.
May I ask you a few questions, Guildmaster?
Of course. After action report, yes? Wise choice.
How long do you think it will take to decipher the journal?
Not long. Aleph told me you found some trinkets with the cultists. Between those baubles and the notes you found, hopefully we'll have a start for the translation effort.
I saw a ghost here on the island. He claimed to be the last Guildmaster.
Yafnir. His passage down the river called me to this post. What did he say?
He told me where Merrick was. He seemed rushed.
Interesting. I'll get in touch with some of our sisters in the Mages Guild. See if they can investigate this apparition. I try to avoid the Walking Dead when I can.
Do I really have a new item? It gives me better health recovery. It's blue, it's higher level, and it gives me better maximum health. I will simply lose spell critical, but I don't use spells, so that doesn't matter. Created from a chunk of rock broken off of a dark anchor dolmen, this amulet still whispers with Cold Harbor's secrets. Wow.
Something tells me we'll see each other again. I look forward to fighting by your side once more.
You sure you'll recover?
Yes, yes. You sound like my mother, beloved though she is. I shall recover. Rejoice, for someday soon you and I shall again take up arms together.
Indeed. Okay. I'm gone. Bye. I will... What? Oh, I needed 4 ash reeds, not 3. That's my bad. That's why they still showed up. It's you again. Once wasn't that enough, eh? No, a foul height. No. Okay. Might as well, right? Hi, servant of Sotazel.
Speak!
Who is Sotazel?
Wizard, mystic, master of the Clockwork City. An architect of time and a binder of oblivion. One who masters the tools that mastered others. Does this answer satisfy?
It only leaves more questions, actually.
Good. Seek. Learn. When you are prepared, find the master. He will be interested to hear your conclusions.
Seldras wants to know if the tribunal hears his prayers.
All prayers are heard. Not all are acknowledged.
Are you saying Sotasil doesn't care?
Every small cog drives a greater gear. Each is necessary, otherwise the whole collapses. When any cog shivers from the stresses on it, the master feels it. But the load he assigns it is no more than he knows it can bear.
Oh.
The master is confident.
What?
The master is confident Sildras can bear his burdens. Tell him.
Okay. I will. Not you again. Whoops. Toughest mud crab in the world. I like how tough the mud crabs are in this world. Clump of reeds. Got that done.
What do you have there?
What?
We are allowing no one to approach the Hist, especially strangers claiming they wish to help us. We just caught a dark elf trying to poison the tree.
I only have the ingredients you asked for.
Your words smell fair, but tasting is proof. Let me see what you have there.
Just crab meat and ash reeds.
Yes, I erect the spine of apology. While you were away, we caught a dark elf defiling our Hist. Please, apply the fertilizer you've gathered to the base of our Hist. As long as I'm with you, the guards will let you through.
Tell me more about the dark elf you caught.
One of our guards is escorting him to my lodge. He seems half mad. He was doing something to the tree, and apparently he is of House Drez.
Let's go to the tree now. Where is the tree? Also, what is this place? Lex Longfin's house. Alright. This is the tree, I think, it seems.
Let this one through.
Where are you?
Let this one through.
Okay. Oh, here you are. I wanted to talk to you.
It's done. Meet me back at my lodge.
It's an interesting tree, that's for sure. Let's talk to her.
What do you want?
Beryl?
Triangles. They taste like silver, like water. I never knew.
What? I guess that's the guy.
It seems we have proof that the Dres are trying to murder our tree.
This is the dark elf you mentioned?
While you were gathering mudcrab meat and reeds, the guards caught him trying to harm our Hist. We can't get anything out of him but his name and house. Seems the rumors were true. House Dres is trying to murder our Hist.
What was he doing to the Hist?
He was scratching at the bark, licking our tree. When the guard shouted at him, he dropped an empty bottle. Now he's very ill. The truth is as plain as the face of Massa.
Let me speak to him.
You may do as you wish, but his mind is boiling. His words skitter like a mud crab in a pan. You will gather no moisture from this one.
I guess.
Don't take my shoes. My toes might grow into the earth.
What? What were you doing to the Hist?
What did I do? What did it do to me? I see. I feel. I'm awake. I touched it. It smelled like flowers and black earth. It tasted like rain and summer wind and the deepest green.
So you, tasted the tree?
He said the tree's sap would be better than skooma. He was right. He said the Argonians might be angry. Do you think they're angry? To me, they always look angry. It's the teeth.
You had a bottle. What was in it?
He gave me the bottle, said it was for the tree. I thought it was skooma. I tasted it. It was bad. I fed it to a lizard. He didn't like it either. He died. The bottle broke. How can I fill it with sap?
Someone encouraged you to do this? Who?
I never saw him before. I asked him for coin to get more skooma. He was a Dunmer. Someone called him Braville? Weeville? Wabberjack? Raville, that's it.
Well, nice reference there. I remember that name.
Ravel? I can't believe it. Ravel!
You recognize the name?
Ravel Urano claimed he saw House Dres poison our history. Then he gave a bottle to this tree-licking waste of flesh. I smell worm scat. Someone has been playing us for fools, and I no longer believe it's House Dres.
Seems that way.
There will need to be an accounting with this Ravel.
Yeah, we'll see. Ooh. Hi.
I feel so hot. The mud outside was so cool. Could I go lie down in it?
Soon. So, whatever is going on in here? I still really like that castle over there. Oh god, but that will take a lot of gathering. There is another quest here. There are more quests here.
Comrade, a word.
Yes?
Comrade, I have an urgent message for you.
What is it?
Guildmaster Sees All Colors would like to see you as soon as possible. She said the journal has revealed something about the Vivicis, whatever that is. She awaits you at the guild hall.
Where can I find her?
You can find her in the hall in Mournhold, comrade. May the Eight protect you.
Did she say what's happening?
No idea. Word around the hall is that she's been working day and night on some mysterious project. I've even seen some mages' guild scribes wandering around the place. Strange.
Yeah, I know about that.
You can find her in the hall in Mournhold, comrade. May the Eight protect you.
Okay.
Good to see you, comrade. Hope you've had ample opportunity to batter around someone deserving.
Kinda. Yeah. Oh my god. So I really need to get rid of all of this stuff. Because as I said, I will... currently I will only sell stuff. Later I will start deconstructing it. Because currently I really need the gold. 80 inventory slots is nowhere near enough. It's you again. Naril Haranan.
Ah, my business partner. I've located another rare and valuable vintage here in Ebonheart. Are you willing to acquire it for me?
Sounds interesting.
There's a bottle of white gold tower here in Ebonheart. The war wizard who owns it retired to this town and opened an inn. Phadrasa Andrethi took the bottle off the battlefield. Now it's gathering dust in her private reserve.
Who is she?
She was a decorated soldier in the Ebonheart Pact. Now she tends to guests at the Ebony Flask. Her Nightflower servants probably know her best. If you want to know how to get that bottle, talk to one.
That wine will be yours.
Just let me know what I can do to help.
What can you tell me about this wizard?
She used to serve in the Morrowind army as a war wizard. I think the explosions were too much for her. After she retired from service, she opened the Ebony Flask with Darvinil Sarvel.
Any advice on where I should start?
Not exactly, but then again that's your side of this business, isn't it?
True.
My only advice is to talk to the Nightflowers at the inn. In their line of work, they learn all the best secrets.
Makes sense.
Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, I did ask some stuff and you said it's my work, so I guess nothing. Anything else over here? Talk to Tratus Otral. What quest is this? Oh. What? I'll read it. Rest of this radios, I have already read that one. The time of the Ebonheart Pact by Allah Lalet. The wheel of time turns in the dawn, it was the day of the Aldmeri. And then came the time of men, but now as the decay and chaos in the Empire makes clear, the time of men has passed. Of the men of Tamriel only the eastern nodes had the strength of character to join Dunmeri and Argonians in repelling the recent invasion of Snakemen from Akavir, thereby showing that of all men only they may be trusted. Time and again men have shown that without proper guidance their meddling with external powers leads to disaster. That is true. Men's reckless dabbling with beings beyond Nirn must stop forever. Now it is time of the Ebonheart Pact, which shall and must become the Tamriel Pact. Within the Pact the Aedra, Daedra and Hist are all revered from an appropriate distance. Within the Pact is the Tribunal, 3 living gods who abide among us here on Nirn, and whose interest therefore coincides with that of all residents of Nirn. Only they have shown how to treat successfully with powers beyond Nirn. The rash actions of those who sit the ruby throne, or who pull their strings, have brought Tamriel to the verge of irretrievable doom. They must be scoured from the face of Serodale, and the decaying remains of the Empire of Men must be swept away. It shall be replaced by the Pact, which will enforce peace across the continent and strictly regulate all involvement in dangerous magical pursuits. Onward, warriors of the Pact, we will never know peace and freedom until we occupy White Gold Tower. Whoops. Sorry, you didn't see that. Interesting.
Davon's watch would have been overrun if you hadn't been there.
I did my best. I just want to look around and read stuff if there is. What is it with them? They wanted me to read that, I guess. You're locked out of your cupboard. Good job. Okay.
Doesn't seem like I'm getting much done here.
Yeah. Wait. What? Oh. I was about to say. What? Let's go upstairs. Let's check over there. Maybe there is something to read over here. Yes, there is a lore book. But first, Breaking the Cycle of Tyranny by Alalet. The brash young kingdoms of the Covenant want to re-establish the Empire of Men. They are too callow and immature to realize that the Empire was a failed experiment whose time has passed. Now is a time of crisis for all of Nirn, and Tamriel cannot afford to have these unlearned barbarians destabilizing Cyrodiil and jeopardizing our efforts to stave off world-destroying doom. The Ebonheart Pact will not allow the Daggerfall Covenant to establish another bloody-handed dynasty of imperial tyrants. Time and again throughout history, armies of men have marched in from the rim of Tamriel to conquer its center, enjoying a brief moment of power before sliding into an inevitable discord and decay. It's a time to break this destructive cycle once and for all. We need to defeat the armies of the Covenant, depose their kings, and bring their chastened successors into a new Tamriel Pact, where wiser heads shall prevail. Huh. North of Skyrim. That's me. My People, My Pride by Hrodmund Wolfhart. Respected reader, my name is Hrodmund Wolfhart, and I am a Nord. But more importantly, I am a Nord born and raised in the land of Skyrim. I write this volume in the desperate hope that the rest of Tamriel can come to know my people, as they deserve to be known, and understand this province for what it truly is, a place of uncontested beauty and culture. Some of what you know is undoubtedly true. Physically, we Nords are an impressive, often imposing sight, tall of stature, strong of bone and thick of muscle. Our hair is often fair and worn braided, as has been the custom for generations. Often we are swayed in the heights of beasts, for such creatures are abundant in Skyrim, and we would be foolish not to take advantage of such an available resource. Having read this far, you may be shocked at the strength of my words and the literacy of a northern savage. Aye, many Nords can both read and write. My father began my instruction in the way of letters when I was but a bairn, as did his father and his father before him. But the accomplishments of the children of Skyrim are multitude, and go beyond mere wordcraft. For we are artisans as well, and through the ages have learned to manipulate steel the way a sculptor would clay. Indeed, I have seen with mine own eyes, visitors from Iraq and Cyrodiil weep in disbelief as they beheld the blades wrought in the fires of the Skyforge, and honed to beautiful deadliness by the gods-touched hands of Clan Greymane. Oh. But how can this be true, you ask? How are such achievements possible from a people who have yet to emerge from the muck and snow? Again, provincial bias clouds the truth. The cities of Skyrim are a testament to Nord ingenuity and craftsmanship. Chief among them are Solitude, seat of the High King and capital of the province Windhelm. Ancient and honored, the jewel in the snow, Markart, carved into the living rock itself in ages long since past, Riften, nestled in the golden shadows of the fall forest, whence comes delicious fish and meat and Whiterun, built around the hall of Jorvaskr, home of the most noble companions and revered Skyforge. And now, respected reader, you have the full measure of it. We Nords are everything you imagined and so much more. But let not this work be your only gateway to the truth. Book passage on carriage or vessel, and make the journey north. See Skyrim with thine own eyes. See Skyrim as have the Nords, since the gods first shaped the world. Ho ho! That was an amazing read. I loved that one. Letter from Vela. To those who serve, at last our time has come. The location of the Spinner's Shrine has been uncovered, and only a handful of mindless brutes stand before us and her triumph. You are called therefore to join your fellows of the web to convene beneath the valley, northwest of Iliad Temple. Travel with caution. Ashlanders assault the temple and they will not hesitate to attack any outsiders. Vela Terran, the Widow. Lots of stuff here. Good to know. Let's check this area too. There is something here. Or not. This maybe? Yes. The gifts of Magnus. Penitent, the lives of all living are touched by Magnus. He who abstained. Lord Magnus drew up the schematics for our world, intricately sketching the diagrams of creation. Magnus is with us always, in the magics of mages and the warming breath of the sun. To complete your venerations here in Dawn, by the imperial light of Aetherius, may the eyes of Magnus always be upon me. Grant me the wisdom to use his gifts, and patience to know his wisdom. Interesting.
What?
Your
Hydratus.
arrival will prove a boon to Ebonheart. The residents are at each other's throats.
What do I need to know about the situation here?
Beyond, no one will work together. Each faction has a different reason. Which would you like to know about?
Why aren't the other Dark Elf houses helping you?
Our people love fighting. It's our nature. We fight the land just to survive. Only the Dunmer's natural superiority allows us to flourish in this wasteland. Lately, our people have been demoralized. Even disciple Sildrus at the Tribunal Temple expects defeat.
Let's talk about the Nords. What's their issue?
The Nords in town are lumber traders from the Rift. You might have noticed a lack of trees. When they asked Raelgar Stonecrush to help defend the town, he accused us of being fancy. I assume that's an insult in Skyrim. Also, I think he was drunk.
Of course he was.
The Argonian quarter is north of Ebonheart. The Nord camp is just beyond the main gates to the south. The best place to gauge the Dunmer's feelings is the Tribunal Temple. When you leave, it'll be the building on the right.
Thank you for the directions. I'll check them out. So that's the temple. Sure. Ordinator God. There is probably something to read over here. This is the exact same building as the Mages Guild. Father of the Niben already read. Sorcery is not necromancy. Already read but haven't marked yet. Wolfmare's Guide to Better Thieving. Already read. Alchemy Discovering Traits by Defessus Lector. Bardus. The method by which an alchemist learns the traits of various reagents is by tasting them. The keyword here is taste. There is no need to consume more than a single portion of a reagent, even if you find it appealing. And based on what the senescence tells me about your visit to your father's wine cellar, you have already determined that common liquors do not possess. Oh, I have already read that one. Heavy armor forging. Heavy armor must be designed to take a lot of punishment. It will receive direct blows from all sorts of weapons while protecting the wearer. Leather strips are used to make the straps and bindings in all armor. Iron and steel are easy to work. Just heat them up and pound them into shape. The heat of the forge is not that critical. Avoid filing off any of the metal. Always try to conserve the metal and work it back into shape. Iron armor requires a large number of iron ingots. A smith might need a couple of dozen to complete a full set of iron armor. Steel armor primarily uses steel ingots, but some iron is used as well. Dwarven armor is made from dwarven metal. The secret of this material was lost when the dwarves disappeared millennia ago. Now it can only be found as scrap in the ruins of their abandoned cities and fortresses. Orcish armor requires large amounts of orichalcum, melded with a bit of iron. Heat should be used sparingly lest it become brittle. The orcs are masters of this technique, but it can be learned by any smith with patience and skill. Steel plate mail is made by adding steel to molten corundum. The alloy is stronger than either metal by itself. Corundum is a finicky material requiring the heat from the forge to be steady and not very much. Ebony can only be worked when heated. It will develop small cracks that will eventually shatter the material if hammered cold. Unlike most other armors, ebony will not alloy with the iron. It must be pure. I can only tell you tales of how to make the Adric armor. I have never seen it myself, nor do I know anyone that has. The stories say that it should always be worked on at night, ideally under a new or full moon, and never during an eclipse. A red harvest moon is best. Ebony is the principal material, but at the right moment the Daedra heart must be thrown into the fire. Interesting. Clothier, Light Armor Basics by Lady Eloise. I know this one. This I have read. The same. Yup. Ghosts of Galumbra. I've already said this one. Yup. Read, sorry. Said. Exiled from Exile, Volume 7 by Isra al-Shaba. Stones of Sand and Swamp. The Lich Lord of Gideon defeated, I made my way north, passing through Stormhold to say one last goodbye to the Hist and their people. I have already read this one. I guess these are all the same. Notes of Racial Phylogeny, 3rd edition by the Council of Healers, Imperial University. Let me know it. I already read that one. The Pint Game by Abigail Timsar Tadisun. So many people simply buy the items they need at the price they are given. It's a sad state of affairs, but when the game is really open to all, you don't need an invitation, it is a game. The game of bargaining to be played seriously, and I hasten to add politely. In elsewhere, it is common for the shop owner to offer the prospective buyer tea or sweetmeats, and engage in polite conversation before commencing business. Interesting. This eminently civilized tradition has a practical purpose. Allowing the buyer to observe the wares for sale, it is considered impolite not to accept, though it does not imply obligation on the part of the buyer. Whether this particular custom is part of the culture or not, it's wise for the buyer and seller to greet one another with smiles and warm salutations, like gladiators honoring one another before the battle. Bargaining is expected all over the Tamriel, but the game can be broken if one's offer is so preposterously low that it insults the shopkeeper. If you are offered something for 10 gold pieces, try offering 6 and see where that takes you. Do not look like you are very interested, but do not mock the quality of the goods, even if they deserve it. It is much better to admire the quality of workmanship, but comment that, regretfully, you simply cannot afford such a price. When the shopkeeper compliments your tastes, smile. Try to resist the flattery. A lot of the game depends on recognizing the types of shopkeepers. Do not automatically assume that the rural and merchant is ignorant and easily fooled, or that the rapacious city merchant is selling shoddy merchandise. Caravans, it should be mentioned, are always good places to go to buy or trade. Knowing what you are buying and who you are buying from is a talent bought only after years of practice. Know the specialties of certain regions and merchants before you even set foot in a shop. Recognize the prejudices of the region. In Morrowind, where I hail from, Argonians are viewed with a certain amount of suspicion. Don't be surprised or insulted if the shopkeepers follow you around the shop, assuming you are going to steal something. Similarly, Nords, Bretons and Cyrodiils are sometimes treated coldly by merchants in the Somerset Isles. Of course, I don't know any shopkeepers anywhere, no matter their open-mindedness, who aren't alerted when a Khajiit or a Bosmer enters their shop. Even Khajiiti and Bosmeri shopkeepers are wary of their own kind. If you see something you really like or need, buy it then, and there at the best price you can get it. You can get. I cannot tell you how many times I passed up a rare and interesting relic, assuming that I could find it elsewhere in the region. Perhaps at a larger town at a better price. Too late I discovered I was wrong. When I returned to the shop weeks later, the item I wanted was gone. Better to get a great purchase at a decent price and discover it again at a worse price than to miss out on your opportunities for ownership. Occasionally, impulsiveness is the best buying strategy. I sense the moves of the game and everyone can win. Thanks. Poetia's glory. Look upon the face of Poetia and wonder. Raise your arms that Poetia may look on them and bestow a blessing. Know that battle is just such a blessing. Know that death is inevitable. Know that you are dust in the eyes of Poetia. Long is the arm of Poetia and swift is the blade. Deep is the cut and subtle is the poison. Worship of faithful, pray your death is short. Worship of faithful, pray your death is quiet. Worship of faithful, worship the glory that is Poetia. Into battle strides the Daedric prince, blade at the ready to cleave the unworthy. Awesome.
Sotha Seal lives always in the world mechanism. May he dwell there forevermore, as he reshapes Nirn and guards the Dunmer.
Okay. Enigma of the Runestones. Enchanting increased to 8, yay. By Delenger the Artificer. The origin of the mystic runestones found scattered across Tamriel is obscure and uncertain. Even their nature and material composition is a matter of hot debate among the sages of the Crystal Tower. The venerable Ankrikyu, Sapiarch of Mythohistory, holds that certain difficult passages in Dorinan's journal indicate that runestones were already here when the foresailor arrived from Old Dalmaris. However, Nolin the Many-Hued, Subiarch of Enchantment, contends that they date from the early Meretic era and are the unintended consequences of Annihilate, Wizard's experiment Gone Ori. Whatever the truth of their origin, after generations of study by the finest magical minds in the Somerset Isles, their various properties have nearly all been identified. Their uses in the enchantment of arms, armor, and ornaments are well understood. For general classification, they fall into 3 categories which we latter-day mages are dubbed potency, aspect, and essence. For enchantment purposes, these 3 types of runestones can be understood as mystically complementary, for only by combining one of each category can the enchanter create a glyph, our term for the magical substance we use to endow an item with sorcerer's power. However, though we know how to use runestones to create magical items, the enigma remains. What are they? We have named their 3 standard categories: potency, aspect, and essence. But what does that mean? Even the great Faris, the antique who gave them these names, even he, when asked what they meant, merely shrugged and replied, "Those are the names that feel right to me." Even the fact that there are 3 kinds of runestones generates debate, as it seems to contradict the Anubadu theorem, which posits that duality is the foundation of the Aurbis. Camille Onvey of Lilandrel asserted that it was impossible that there were only 3 types of runestones, and spent the last 200 years of his life searching for a 4th. Convinced that proper classification called for such entities to appear in dual pairs, he never found this quartonic runestone, which he dubbed celerity, but he insisted until the end that his theory was sound. Was Camillon right? Do celerity runestones exist? But in some state of reality that makes them imperceptible to normal mortals? That is a question that is so far unanswerable. I'm gonna answer that. You'll see. Witch Cults of Northern Hierarch by Waffimels Masteret Lorekeeper. One of the dozen or so word caverns scattered across Tamriel, the Beldama word, is of especial interest to Imperial researchers. The Beldama are found within the thick forests of central Glenumbra, which are problematic to the explorer due to the broken terrain and heavy vegetation. Precious few have encountered the Beldama viruses, or viruses, another name for a group of ward sisters or witches. But those who have speak of dark encampments under the canopy of ancient oak trees and covered in rituals to honor Jeffre, an aspect of Ifre, the most venerated god of the Bosmeri deities. The all-female Beldama word traced their origin to the time Ifre transformed himself into the first Elnofei, or Earthbones, and established the laws of nature. While this is obviously a mere myth, the Beldama word all fiercely believe they are descendants of the Elnofei. It is uncertain whether the viruses should be considered beneficial or malefic, but all agree they are uncanny and forceful. They see themselves as wardens of the forests with an unwavering reverence for nature. Most Britons consider them dangerous witches, to be placated rather than revered. It is no wonder then that the Beldama word dwells in the least populated regions of Hierarch. The Beldama tend to congregate around the mysterious and reputedly gigantic word tree, which glows with an unnatural light and looks unlike any other tree in the northern forests of Tamriel. Should the Empire consider an invasion, threats of deforestation might be a way to cow the local population, although the Beldama world may have unknown magic capable of forestalling incursions. Huh. Netches, all around. By Anonymous, netches all around. They are borne up high and never come down. Netches all around. Bulls and petties, some blue, some brown. Netches all around. Their tentacles hang like a dressing gown. Netches all around. They sneak upon you without the sound. Netches all around. You cannot hide, you will be found. Ooh, ominous. Johnny Brett's Last Dance. That I have already read, but not marked. Dear Sir, a kind gentleman delivered a copy of your fine pamphlet entitled A Visit to High King Lord Relis, 12th Court. In this magnificent volume, you demonstrated your masterful vocabulary whilst describing the various foibles. What? Foibles of my liege's court. I was particularly fond of your kind praise of my jesterly performances, especially the act you described as abominably distasteful and prurient nonsense. I applaud your honesty and forthrightness. Like any great artist, I can appreciate the constructive criticism. I would like to invite you to my lodgings. Upon your arrival, I will throw you down a flight of stairs repeatedly. My goal is to break your neck, and to see that the last flicker of life extinguished from your vast, empty eyes. Yours respectfully, Falarel. Wow. That guy. Ode to Auridon. Of all the lands in the Somerset Isles, Auridon, she outshines them all. With her marble halls and towering spires, her beauty surpassed them all. From Vulcan Elmgard to the first among colds, her strength outstrips them all. In shadowed glade and quiet ruin, her calm surprises all. In steel and ship and flopping fish, her coin outtrades them all. With beauty and wit and subtle grin, her queen is best of all. Okay, last bookshelves. Fundaments of Alchemy. Have I read this one? Is in fact amateur. Before success can reinvent, the beginning alchemist must understand the basic principles behind his craft. Yep, I have already read that one. The Ruins of Camel Z, Part 3. I don't know if I have read this one. Let's see. The Ruins of Camel Z, Part 3, by Roland Nordsen. The blockage was much worse than I had first thought, and in the end it took almost 2 weeks to clear the passage. The diggers were as excited as I was when their picks finally broke through the far end into emptiness, and we shared a round of the local liquor together, a foul concoction in truth. To show that all was forgiven, I could hardly restrain my eagerness as they enlarged the hole to allow entry into the chamber beyond. Would the passage lead to entire new levels of the ancient city filled with the artifacts left by the vanished dwarves? Or would it be only a dead end, some side passage leading nowhere? My excitement grew as I slid through the hole and crouched for a moment in the darkness beyond. From the echoing sounds of the stones rattling beneath my feet, I was in a large room, perhaps very large. I stood up carefully and unhooded my lantern. As the light flooded the chamber, I looked around in astonishment. Here were wonders beyond even my wildest dreams. As the light from my lamp filled the chamber beyond the rockfall, I looked around in astonishment. Everywhere was the warm glitter of dwarven alloys. I had found an untouched section of the ancient city. My heart pounding with excitement, I looked around me. The room was vast, the roof soaring up into darkness beyond the reach of my lamp, the far end lost in shadows with only a tantalizing glimmer, hinting at treasures not yet revealed. Along each wall stood rows of mechanical men, intact except for one oddity. Their heads had been ritually removed and placed on the floor at their feet. This could mean only one thing. I had discovered the tomb of a great dwarven noble, maybe even a king. Burials of this type had been discovered before, most famously by Ransom's expedition to Hammerfell, but no completely intact tomb had ever been found until now. But if this was truly a royal burial, where was the tomb? I stepped forward gingerly, the rows of headless bodies standing silently as they had for eons, the disembodied eyes seeming to watch me as I passed. I had heard wild tales about the curse of dwarves, but had always laughed it off as superstition, but now breathing the same air as the mysterious builders of the city, which had lain undisturbed since the cataclysm that spelled their doom, I felt a twinge of fear. There was some power here, I felt, something malevolent that resented my presence. I stopped for a moment and listened. All was silent, except it seemed I heard a faint hiss, regular as breathing. I fought down a sudden surge of panic. I was unarmed, not thinking of danger in my haste to explore past the blocked passage. Sweat dripped down my face as I scanned the gloom for any movement. The room was more warm. I suddenly noticed, much warmer than the rest of the labyrinth thus far. My excitement returned. Could I have found the section of the city still connected to a functioning steam grid? Pipes ran along the walls as in all sections of the city. I walked over and placed my hand on one. It was hot, almost too hot to touch. Now I saw that in places where the ancient piping had corroded, small jets of steam were escaping. The sound I heard, I laughed at my incredulity. I now advanced quickly to the far end of the room, giving a cheerful salute to the ranks of mechanical soldiers who had appeared so menacing only moments before. I smiled with triumph as the light swept back the darkness of centuries to reveal the giant effigy of a dwarven king, standing on a raised dais, his metal hand clutching his rod of office. This was the prize indeed. I circled the dais slowly, admiring the craftsmanship of the ancient dwarves. The golden king stood 20 feet tall under a freestanding domed cupola, his long upswept beard jutting forward proudly as his glittering metal eyes seemed to follow me. But my superstitious mood has passed, and I gazed benevolently on the old dwarven king. My king, as I had already begun to think of him. My king, sorry. I stepped onto the dais to get a better look at the sculpted armor. Suddenly the eyes of the figure opened and it raised a mailed fist to strike. Whoa! I leaped to one side as the golden arm came crashing down, striking sparks from the steps where I had stood a moment before. With a hiss of steam and a whir of gears, the giant figure stepped ponderously out from under its canopy and strode towards me with frightening speed, its eyes tracking me as I scrambled backwards. I dodged behind a pillar as the fist whistled down again. I had dropped my lantern in the confusion, and now I crept into the darkness outside the pool of light, hoping to slip between the headless mechanisms and thus escape back to the safety of the passageway. Where had the monster gone? You would think that a 20-foot golden king would be hard to miss, but he was nowhere to be seen. The guttering lamp only illuminated a small part of the room. He could be hiding anywhere in the gloom. I crawled faster. Without warning, the dim ranks of dwarven soldiers in front of me went flying. As the monstrous guardian loomed before me, he had cut off my escape. As I dodged backwards, blow after blow whistled down as the implacable machine followed me relentlessly, driving me into the far corner of the room. At last there was nowhere left for me to go, but my back was to the wall. I glared up to my foe, determined to die on my feet, the huge fists lifted for one final blow. And we never know what happened next.
The shrines are outside the city, north, southeast, and southwest. Vivek's shrine is across the river to the southwest of Ebonheart. Almalexia's is to the southeast. The shrine to Sophocil is on an island north of the Argonian Quarter.
I have been to the Sophocil one. What should I do at the shrines?
Burn the flowers at each shrine. They're a rare variety of gold carnet called Roland's Tears, and are sacred to the three. I pray they hear you.
Okay. That was interesting. Lots of reading then. And lots more reading to do. Convince the Dark Elves. I guess I need to do that quest then. So next is convince the Nords, who are supposedly somewhere. Oh, Ebonheart Way Shrine, yay! Who are somewhere out of town.